Hello and welcome to A Voice for All. I am your host, Jamila Gamble, and I am so excited to be back. It is season 4. Can you believe that? I just want to take a second to thank those of you who have been supporting A Voice for All since season 1, and I truly hope you do enjoy season 4. Just so you know, we have a lot of great guests lined up for this season. Guests from various backgrounds, different disabilities, and that's what A Voice for All is all about. We showcase different talents, promote local organizations and frontline staff, and generally try to promote disability education in the Peel region. If you ever want to get in touch with me, be sure to find me on the Jam fan page, www.facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble. You could also tweet me on Twitter at Miss Jam PCCS, and I would love to hear from you, even if you have show ideas. Maybe you want to send me a gift basket with some poutine. I would love to get it. So let's get into the show. This is the first episode of season 4, and I have Peter and Lola from Cruise Holidays. Now, Peter, let's get into the story about how we met in the first place. Let's take it back to December.
Right. December. I saw you at the Abilities show.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I reached out to you then because I'd heard about your show, Voice for All, and wanted to suggest that we be part of your show.
And I'm glad you did, because this is a topic we haven't even touched base on.
Right.
And this is your very beautiful wife, Lola.
Absolutely.
Over here. I'm glad you're on with us as well. And the reason why I invited Peter and Lola on is because there seems to be this stigma that people with disabilities don't have fun. If we could summarize it like that. They don't, they're at home, they're in institutions, but you guys are kind of breaking that stigma by creating vacations for them.
That's right.
Tell me more about it.
Well, we have a daughter who has a physical disability, and so throughout our vacations, we've had to make minor accommodations so that we can all enjoy ourselves. And when I started the business, a travel business that we're in right now 3 years ago, we decided that we'd make part of our business a specialty to help other people with physical disabilities arrange vacations. And we've done a lot of research on our own because of our vacations. And we know all the issues and the tips and the backups that a person needs, right? I mean, especially if you have a mobility issue, if your accessible transport doesn't show up, you need to have a plan B, because that's happened to us.
And sometimes a plan C.
And sometimes a plan C.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think we give a different perspective on it because we've been through it. We've experienced being stranded. We've experienced standing in front of a restaurant that has 5 steps. We've experienced all that. And so we've learned from past experience that we can plan a really good vacation, and the better the planning, the more seamless it becomes, and the less issues you face when you're on vacation, when you're supposed to be relaxing and enjoying it. And so we've decided to use our experience to help other people plan vacations that are accessible and meet their specific needs, because as you know, not everybody has the same disability, right?
Right.
There's many types of disabilities out there.
So Lola, as a mother, when you're planning trips, tell me some of the struggles you find that other families have been telling you guys when they're trying to plan their own trips.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there one particular client situation. They really hadn't been on a vacation in a long time. The last vacation they had been on, they had experienced all kinds of nightmares, problems. The hotel not being fully accessible, problems with flights. Electric wheelchairs breaking, when they came off the flight and they weren't able to use the chair, those kinds of things. So, it's just really gratifying to be able to help someone, finally go on that vacation, right, with their child, and even, in this case, an adult child, and they just haven't been able to be on a vacation. So there's many different scenarios. We've definitely found that cruising is great because it takes you to different places, but the ships are very accessible, so
Okay.
you can get beautiful accessible staterooms, walk-in showers. We can organize equipment to get on the ships, like lifts, Hoyer lifts, bath commodes, all of the different equipment that someone might need. We have clients who travel with oxygen. The airlines have specific regulations, like even if for batteries on electric chairs, they have to be a certain type of battery, not the other type of battery. So there's a lot of nuances to managing that type of travel. But it's I enjoy it. I take the time and,
Well, that's
and
important,
research
right?
it and make
Absolutely.
sure that things go well. Yeah.
Well, this reminds me, most recently, this issue with a woman who was traveling on Sunwing.
Exactly.
Absolutely, they
Right.
lost her
Exactly.
wheelchair.
And
And ho-
besides losing her wheelchair,
Yeah.
it was just the whole attitude
Yes.
of,
Yeah.
when they travel to this particular hotel.
Exactly.
How do you prepare people emotionally? Or do you contact some of the resorts and let them know, or some of the cruise ships and say this is a certain person?
Well,
Yeah.
the cruise ships are way ahead of any other vacation property as far as accommodating people with physical disabilities and even other types of disabilities. They've always been at the forefront, and they've standardized across the industry, which is great because every cruise line now has accessible staterooms. Every cruise line now is accessible to the standards of the U.S. Right. If you go to Cuba or the Dominican Republic, you're going to have different standard for the land resorts,
Absolutely.
right? But the cruise ships are standardized right across the board. So we really feel that the cruise vacation is probably the best and most consistent product out there for someone with a physical disability. And they pride themselves in training their staff, in making
That's
sure
so
that
reassuring.
that is so important because it's not just having the physical needs there, it's having the people that are receptive to it, right? And so all their staff welcome people with physical disabilities, and our daughter can attest to that. She's always felt like she's been made welcome. And they keep pushing the limits. Royal Caribbean now is the first cruise line that has been certified autistic friendly. Now that's something that is very new in any industry, right? I mean, even in buildings and schools and institutions on land, nobody has gone that far as a cruise line has. And so they have special programs, special lending programs, special preparatory programs for
Right.
people with autism so that they know what to expect when they arrive. A lot of it is making sure they're prepared for what's going to happen. They expedite your check-in, those sort of
Look
things.
at how far we've come.
Isn't it amazing?
You know,
think it
because I
is.
think once upon a time, and even some of the clients I work with, vacation is not even a word in their vocabulary.
No.
They can't even believe that. So what essentially what you guys are doing
Right.
is really opening up a whole new chapter in
Yes.
some people's lives.
And we're not
right?
alone in that, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
there's lots of organizations out there that are pushing change, and we're just making it available to people, making our expertise and our knowledge available to people in this area so that they know that it's available for them.
But it's
So
really
what's next
just
step? Yeah.
starting. No, sorry. Because I mean, I recently had someone call me and said, the lady said her husband uses a wheelchair, and she said, I've talked to so many travel agents, and we try and explain our situation, and I just get blank stares,
Right.
So she knows immediately, like they don't know what's involved and what the requirements
But
are.
isn't it a shame that people feel the need that they have to explain?
Yes, I think
Right.
it is.
You know,
yeah.
like why
Yeah.
do they have to go into these lengthy discussions as to why,
Yeah.
they need this and they need that, and still people don't understand.
Right,
Yeah.
You
right.
know?
And I think we're in a unique position because we're part of the disability community and we're exposed to other people, Laura's friends. Many of them have different types of disabilities, and we talk to their parents and we understand what they've gone through, and so we're in kind of a unique situation that that we've been exposed to it, and so we're trying to share that experience with other people and our knowledge, and make it easier for them to find something that's suitable for them.
I'm sure if there's any families who are watching right now, this must be like a breath of fresh air for you, honestly, because again, like I mentioned, a vacation, oh goodness, they don't even want to go to dinner with their children in fear of what people are going to think. So to know that there's avenues in place that if we want to go on a vacation, we could go on a cruise trip. I never even thought of that.
Right.
I never even believed that a cruise ship would already have those things in place,
Yes.
and that their staff are trained.
Absolutely.
They have accessible attitudes,
Right,
as well as
absolutely.
accessible
They're very good at
facilities.
Yeah,
They're very good
at
at it. No, I think that's what attracted us to the cruise industry, was that they were so accepting of
That's good.
everybody. And every time we go on a cruise, people with disabilities are normal. You can see them doing all kinds
That's
of
great.
activities,
That's
and
really
they're
great.
they're treated as just another passenger.
I
which
love
is-
that.
which is the
Even
way
the
it is.
pools, for example, on a lot of the ships still have lifts to get people in and out of the
Good.
pools, and
Right.
so there's lots of, and it's developing all the time, right?
And it's
So-
extending to shore excursions too, because we had a client who had MS and was confined to a wheelchair, but she wanted to go on a Baltic cruise, which includes St. Petersburg, Russia, where
Wow.
all those wonderful palaces are. But Russia is not a very accessible country. But they have an accessible shore excursion group that put together a 2-day shore excursion with motorized vehicles and accessible transportation.
In due time. Russia is always expanding. I have faith in a
Yes.
few years.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Usually, I'm wrapping up my interview now, but as you can tell, we still have a lot to talk about. So stay tuned after the break. We still have these wonderful folks on. We have lots more to talk about. Keep watching A Voice for All, and I will see you guys in a few minutes. Hey, and welcome back to A Voice for All. I am your host, Jamila Gamble, and if you're just tuning in, this is episode 1 of season 4. Be sure to connect with me, Jam fan page, facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble, or you can tweet me at Miss Jam PCCS. I love the messages I get from you guys and even topic suggestions, so be sure to reach out to me when you get a chance. So in our last segment, we had Peter and his wife Lola talking about cruise holidays, and basically we're talking about that people with disabilities are able to go on trips, and accessible trips at that. So if you are looking to book your next trip, be sure to contact them. The information will be shown at the bottom of the screen, but we have a slight change in terms of our guest on set. We still have Lola, but now we have Lara on stage. And what is so exciting is that when I first spoke to her dad about a month ago, I said, can you please come, and bring your daughter? He goes, I don't know, she's a teenager. I don't know if I can convince her. Well, it turns out I'm the teenage whisperer, and I have her on set. Yes, so welcome. And from what your parents are telling me, you are the inspiration behind this whole...
Well, I didn't think so, but
You kind of are.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, like they wanted to name the company after me, like at one point, and I said no.
No, you said no.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more humble than that. Okay. All right, we could understand that. But tell me about some of the trips that you have been on.
I've mostly been to the Caribbean on cruises,
I want you to know how jealous I am of you right now.
and like most of the islands in the Caribbean, and as my parents have said in the previous segment, like the staff are very welcoming, and
Mm-hmm.
I just love being on vacation, obviously, and like going to the beach, and
If you need a sidekick, I am I am here for you. I could make you laugh. I could bring you drinks. Are you of age?
I'm 18, so almost.
Next year, you and I, beach. Mom, you're okay with this?
Totally.
So now, you know, I'm sure when you were planning your family trips initially, you know, obviously there was that roadblock and wondering how things would be. But now, how fun are your trips knowing that everything is accessible?
Yeah, and absolutely. You know, and it's changed over the years too, because when Lara was little, you know, the accessibility wasn't so much a factor because, you know, we could carry her, we could lift her into places and so forth. But, you know, that's not the case. So now, you know, we absolutely have to have an accessible walk-in shower, for example, and, you know, there has to be space, and she has to be able to get her walker into and through places.
Right.
So, again, you know, like we've tried hotels, and you know what hotels, like it really varies from company to company, from hotel to hotel, as to what they really think of what an accessible room really means, or an accessible shower, right? It just a bar on the wall isn't going to cut it.
Which
right?
makes me want to ask, what is the worst experience you have had at a hotel or any of your trips?
Oh,
I think-
remember the one.
I think probably the most important thing to have is the shower, as my mom said. But I don't know what you were thinking.
Well, okay, go ahead.
But what I was thinking is that, like, they said that they had the chair, but then they came up with this like wooden bench, and it like gets wet, and like it's gonna be broken by the end of like not broken, but
Lara's part of a sledge hockey team, and so every year there's a tournament in London, Ontario. And so Lara always reminds me, you know, let's pack my shower seat so that we can bring it to the hotel, because the whole team stays in the hotel and everybody needs a shower seat. So the hotel only has, you know, not enough for a whole team or for a whole organization. So that year we forgot to pack the shower seat, so we had to purchase another one.
And I'm sure those items are pricey, unfortunately.
Well, they're not that expensive.
Right.
It's not, you know, we don't need two of them in the house. We now have two in the house. So
I like the new one better though.
yeah, okay.
So this trip, you know, obviously they said they had things into place. Do you get upset when, you know, someone says, hey, we have everything in place for you, and then you show up and it's a different story?
Of course I do. Like,
Wooden splinters?
yeah.
of course I do. Like, who wouldn't? But like, I think you kind of just have to go with the flow most of the time, especially when you are not on cruises, when I'm used to it, when I'm used to having everything the way it's supposed to be. You just have to, have to live with it. But like, of course I get upset. Like, why wouldn't I?
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because for some reason I feel that people feel that individuals who happen to have a physical disability, that, you know, whatever comes your way, just deal with it. You're upset. Yeah. You want to have a diva moment? Have a diva moment in the hotel. Get upset. Absolutely.
And sometimes I even complain, and people are like, why are you even complaining? But
like, you don't have a
why
right to
not?
complain?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, she has a right to complain. Okay? First and foremost, she is a human. And as humans, we complain. So why can't she complain? I just want to put that out there. Why can't you? You have every right to enjoy your trip. And if things aren't in place, like for me, if I don't have my firm pillow, I might be upset.